Maria stepped off the bus with trembling hands clutching the worn leather strap of her suitcase. The Nevada desert sun beat down, glaring against the small rural town's wooden storefronts. Her dress, carefully chosen though second-hand, fluttered in the wind. She looked around nervously, her heart heavy with the weight of all that had led her here. Back home, life had been marked by poverty and silence. Her father's illness had left the family destitute. When she answered an advertisement for companionship and marriage in America, she had not dreamed of love, only survival. Yet, in her heart, she prayed that perhaps, across the ocean, someone might see her as more than just a way out of hardship. But as she stood at the bus stop, watching families embrace, cowboys leading horses, and townsfolk going about their day, no one came forward to claim her. She waited. An hour. Then another. She checked the paper crumpled in her hand. A man named Charles' address ring at the door. She whispered his name under her breath like a lifeline. But no one appeared. Her chest ached with humiliation. People glanced at her curiously, some with pity, some with suspicion. She wanted to vanish. Finally, with her legs shaking, she picked up her suitcase and began walking, dusty roads stretching endlessly ahead. When she reached the farmhouse on the prairie, she knocked timidly. A tall, weathered man opened the door. His eyes were tired, and his shirt was smeared with dirt from the fields. "You were her?" he asked flatly. "Yes, Maria," she whispered. He sighed. I wasn't expecting you so soon." His voice was cold, rehearsed, like someone forced into a role they didn't want. Behind him, the house was quiet, almost too quiet for a home. He led her inside without a smile. No flowers. No warmth. Just an empty chair at the kitchen table and silence heavy enough to break her spirit. That night, Maria sat alone in the small guest room. She heard him pacing, heard a door slam. She curled up, pressing her face into the pillow, tears soaking through. She thought of her family back home, depending on the money she would send. She thought of her foolish dream, that maybe just maybe someone here might love her. Instead, she felt unwanted, like baggage that had arrived on the wrong doorstep. Days passed. Charles spoke little. He left early to tend the farm and returned late, barely acknowledging her. Maria tried cooking, cleaning, even singing softly, while working anything to break the silence, but he remained distant. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the fields in orange light, Maria wandered to the barn. She heard a faint giggle. Startled, she peered inside. There, sitting on a hay bale, was a little girl no older than 6. She had curly brown hair and eyes too big for her tiny face. She was drawing on scraps of paper with a stub of pencil. The girl gasped when she saw Maria. Then, after a long pause, she whispered, "Are you the lady?" "The lady?" Maria asked gently. "The one Papa said was coming. The one who'd help." Her voice wavered. Maria's heart clenched. "What is your name, little one?" "Emily," she said. Maria smiled softly. "Hello, Emily." From that moment, everything shifted. Emily began appearing wherever Maria was. She would sit at the table while Maria cooked, hum along when Maria sang, and cling to her hand in the evenings when shadows stretched long across the farmhouse walls. It was Emily who revealed the truth. One night, in a hushed voice, she confessed, "Mama went to heaven last year. Papa doesn't talk much anymore. He's sad all the time. I prayed for someone to come. Someone who'd smile again. Someone who'd stay." Maria's throat tightened. Suddenly, the pieces fell into place. Charles's distance, his hollow eyes. He hadn't been looking for love. He had been looking for help. For a mother for his child. Still, Maria gave her heart freely to Emily. She braided her hair in the mornings, sewed her a little cloth doll, and tucked her into bed with lullabies from her homeland. And slowly, through Emily's laughter, even Charles began to soften. He lingered longer at the table. He watched Maria and Emily with something like wonder in his eyes, though he rarely spoke. But Maria still carried her own wound. She believed she was unwanted, a mere transaction, not truly chosen. Then came the storm. One night, lightning split the sky and rain poured down in sheets. The wind howled through the cracks in the house. Maria rushed to check on Emily, but the little girl's bed was empty. Panic seized her. She grabbed a lantern, and stumbled into the storm, calling Emily's name. Her voice was swallowed by thunder. Then, faintly, she heard sobs near the barn. She found Emily curled in a corner, clutching her doll, trembling with fear. Maria dropped to her knees, pulling the child into her arms. "I've got you," she whispered, shielding Emily from the rain. Emily buried her face against her and cried, "I was scared Mama wouldn't come back. I thought maybe you'd leave too." "Everybody leaves." Maria's tears mingled with the rain. She cupped the child's face, and whispered with trembling conviction, "No, Emily. I'm here. I will not leave." And then, in the softest, most fragile voice, Emily asked the words that broke Maria's heart wide open. "Can you be my mommy?" Time seemed to stop. The storm raged around them, but inside, everything was still. Maria pressed her forehead to Emily's and whispered, "Yes, my sweet girl. If you'll have me, I would love to be your mommy." From the doorway of the barn, Charles stood frozen, the lantern in his hand flickering. For the first time since she had arrived, Maria saw his face crumple, saw tears streak down through the dirt. He stepped forward, voice shaking. I didn't know how to ask," he said. "After my wife passed, I swore I'd never love again. I placed that ad for a housekeeper, for someone to keep Emily safe. But watching you the way you've loved her, the way you've healed her, you've healed me too. Maria, I don't just need you here. I want you here. Please stay. Not for money. Not for duty. Stay because this is your home." Maria's heart swelled. The ache of being unwanted, of being a stranger in every place she had lived, melted in that moment. For the first time, she wasn't just surviving. She was chosen. She was loved. The storm eventually passed, but within the farmhouse walls, a new light began to glow. The laughter of a child, the warmth of a man learning to love again, and the steady gentle presence of a woman who had once believed no one wanted her. Maria was no longer the mail-order bride. She was a mother. She was a wife. She was home, and it all began with a little girl's whisper in the dark, "Can you be my mommy?" If you felt this story touch your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more kindness stories that remind us of the power of love.